7 years ago, Apple released the iPhone X, a game changer in the smartphone industry. It was Apple's first device to ditch the home button, bring in Face ID, and introduce the stunning OLED display that set the standard for phones to follow. Now 7 years have passed, and the iPhone X still remains a great device, but is it still worth it? Let's dive in to see if this classic device can still keep up. Starting with design and build quality, the iPhone X still has that premium look and feel. With glass on both sides and a sturdy stainless steel frame, it feels solid, elegant, and surprisingly very modern, even by today's standards. Sure, it may lack the matte finish or the tougher ceramic shield we see on newer models, but the stainless steel is still premium. I bought this specific unit not long ago, and as you can see, it has been used quite a bit, but it still retains the premium feel. Just like current iPhones, the X is resistant against dust and water, but if your device has been opened, it might have lost this feature. The iPhone X has a 5.8-inch OLED display, which was groundbreaking at launch. Colors still look rich, and the sharpness is there with 458 pixels per inch. At 625 nits, brightness is good for indoor use, but in direct sunlight, it can be challenging to see. It also only has a 60 Hz refresh rate, and while that's smooth enough on iPhones, heavy users might notice a difference compared to newer models with 120 Hz displays. This particular unit has a replacement screen, and it doesn't look that good. It has also severe burn, which affects the experience. The last major update for iPhone X was iOS 16, which means this device is already 2 big versions behind. While it still has minor updates, the lack of support for major changes makes this phone barely usable for me. On the other hand, it comes with the Apple A11 Bionic chip, which is actually still good. It still performs fine when opening system apps, and even with some games. But the 3 GB of RAM does show its age if you're pushing it with multiple demanding apps or heavy games. For regular tasks, though, this phone remains surprisingly capable, proving the long-lasting performance of Apple's chip. What bothers me about this phone is the base storage, which is only 64 GB. You have options with more storage, but the base of 64 GB wasn't enough even in 2017, let alone in 2024. The iPhone X has stereo speakers that still produce balanced and clear sound, which is great for streaming or casual listening. These speakers aren't the loudest, but they still do the job fine. As for battery life, this is where the age really shows. With a 2,716 mAh battery, you can expect about half a day with moderate use. If you're a power user, you'll likely need a charger nearby, but replacing the battery can help extend its life. This particular unit has a new battery, but it still doesn't last me a full day. Compared to new iPhones, the battery life on the X is much worse. The main way to secure this device is with Face ID. This feature works on the iPhone X just fine, and it has been one of the most consistent things about this device and future iPhones. It is, however, very fragile, and if you damage it just a little bit, it will stop working. Now, let's talk about the cameras. The iPhone X has a 12-megapixel main camera and a 12-megapixel telephoto lens with 2x optical zoom. In well-lit conditions, you'll get natural and detailed images that still look good. Low-light photography is where it falls behind. While newer models have night mode, the iPhone X doesn't, which limits its performance during the night. The front-facing 7-megapixel camera is decent, but it struggles with dynamic range when the background is bright, and when it comes to night, this camera is barely usable. The iPhone X can shoot videos up to 4K at 60 frames per second, which still holds up really well. Video is one area where this phone remains reliable. Overall, I would say that the cameras of the iPhone X are fine for a 7-year-old device, but don't expect anything groundbreaking from this device. So, is the iPhone X still worth it in 2024? If you're looking for a budget-friendly iPhone with Face ID, a great OLED display, and solid design, then yes. Under the right price and condition, it could still be a good option. But keep in mind, newer models like the iPhone 12 and beyond offer much better cameras, battery life, and overall performance. If you're after an iPhone experience without breaking the bank, The 10 still offers a lot, but make sure to get a model that is in a good shape. If you're still rocking the iPhone 10, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this.